All right. Hello, DSN fam. Mike Lomotan here again. And today I'm with the famous Dr. Paul Nachos Goodman, right? So you've seen him here in DSN. You've seen him here in the Facebook world. But more importantly, he's actually here as a sponsor of DSN. So his company, Dentist Job Connect, is actually one of our preferred partners. And what Dentist Job Connect is, it is a placement / recruiting agency for doctors. For those of you who are looking for associates, I know actually there are several of you that have used that service successfully, and he's been able to place star associates into your practice. But we wanted to just do a formal announcement, talk about what Dentist Job Connect does, and actually how Dr. Goodman reaches out to his 70,000 members in sort of like the social media world to engage with dental related, I guess, some people, right? To actually
bring for sure
funnel in. So I'll just let you take it away because you're going to do a much better job than I am.
Sure, Mike. And I want to say thanks to you. Managing all these dentists is not an easy job. So you're doing the work of the Lord G.V. Black. That was a famous dentist. So we appreciate it. And like every good speaker, they always have to bond with their audience. If someone came to Philly, I'd expect them to talk about cheesesteaks and the Rocky statue. So I made this shirt for when Mark came to visit me for DSN, biceps and EBITDA. This is what you guys think about all the time. So I know my DSN members are super into financial fitness and physical fitness, and I'm excited to share about Dentist Job Connect. But for those of you just like the best info up front, because you're a DSN member, you get a 25% off discount off of any of our packages. There's 3 packages. They come with different toppings, each package. Some of you in DSN, like Dr. Blake Drew, have done our video package. Some of you have done our basic, some of you have done our middle. If you scan this here on the screen, or reach out to our dentistjobconnect.com team. The code DSN saves you 25% off any of our packages. We're going to go into that in more detail. The benefits of using Dentist Job Connect as a DSN member is your 25% off any package, and you get an extra 30 days on our site. And unlimited dad jokes from me, those are priceless, Mike. So those are priceless.
And I want to interject something here, right? Because I know how dentists work. Dentists look at price and say, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But I came from the biotech world, right? And the executive recruiters that would actually contact me to, you know, as I sort of embarked on that career, literally what they would charge, what recruiters would charge companies to recruit somebody like me was anywhere from 1 to 3 months worth of salary.
Yeah.
And that was on the premise that I would stay there at least 6 months. So it was, you know, when I was in biotech, I definitely made a lot more than this. So it definitely was, this is.
And prior to starting this, Mike, I was a high-level recruiter. So we say this is about 10% of the cost of what a high-level recruiter charges. No disrespect to high-level recruiters, but when you're paying between $1,000 to $2,000, the high-level recruiters are charging $10,000 to sometimes up to $30,000 to find a dentist for your practice. So this is what we call an affordable, amazing option for all. So I always talk about how the story being, well, first I want to have our contact info. So if you drop it at this point, screenshot this. You can email us at info@dentistjobconnect.com. You can call or text this phone number. Just go to dentistjobconnect.com. But I invented this entire company because it had a lot to do with this story here, Mike.
And I want to start off with, sometimes one of the worst things that happened to you is one of the best things that happens to someone else. During the pandemic, my wife and I were sitting on the couch, very popular place for us to be during the pandemic. Tons of TV. Sometimes I wonder if my couch misses me from all that time in 2020. So Morgan comes up to us and says, hey guys, I need to tell you something. Not once in the history of I need to tell you something has something been good on the other side. Need to tell me how handsome and funny I am? Not that. Said, hey guys, I need to tell you this, but first let me tell you who Morgan is. Morgan saved our family during the pandemic. To call Morgan a babysitter would be an insult to Morgan. She was a caretaker of our 2- and 6-year-old. Did anyone here raise your hand, try to operate people under the age of 10 during 2020? You guys definitely deserve a round of applause like me, because it was not easy. We were running Little House on the kitchen table prairie for school with my wife and 6-year-old. I would just get up and remove my 2-year-old from the house so everyone could stay sane. So Morgan took care of our family. My wife met her early in the pandemic. She came 3 days a week. She was our sanity savior. So she comes up to us and says, hey guys, I need to tell you something. And I knew it wasn't going to be good. She said, I just graduated from college. I've lived in Philadelphia my whole life. I'd like to explore new things, meet new people. And next month, I'm moving to San Diego. And I said, oh, that sounds great, but San Diego is closed. You have to stay with us here forever.
So how did I feel in that moment? I felt like crying inside and outside, Mike, because we were losing the person taking care of our most important thing. And then just 1 month later,
I want to start off with
my associate dentist came to me and said, hey, Paul, guess what? Another not so great starter to a sentence. My wife got into a neurology program and we're moving to San Francisco. So there was a West Coast exodus of important people in my life. So I created Dentist Job Connect to function like a care.com, because it is not what I would call a dating website, because to me, dating is buying a practice. You stick with it for 30 years. But many of us in this community have multiple associates that take care of the most important things in our life, which is our dental practices. I always share, Mike, my dream was to play professional basketball in the NBA. That dream failed, but that was me making a three-point shot in high school. And I know my dental people, Mike, they don't believe anything. They need a bite wing of the bite wing, a CBCT of the CBCT. So just to prove that I can still knock down an NBA three, I want to show you this. If I knock down this NBA length three, all practice owners and DSOs are going to agree to pay their associates some type of income guarantee, because it is totally nacho nuts to expect your associates to work for free. Let's see how it goes. So as soon as, Mike, they make the senior NBA, I'm dropping all this dental nacho, Dentist Job Connect, and trying out. But until then, the reason I showed that video is because we create teams. Being a practice owner is like being a parent of a 4-year-old child every day that never grows up. I always share that it is awesome, it is annoying, and it's all the time exhausting. And we cannot do what we can do without our associate dentists. So all of us out there know associate dentists unlock so much in our dental practice lives. Growth, if you're one of those people buying your 6th, 7th, or 8th practice. Sanity, famous music star, said more hygiene checks, more problems, Mike, because I don't know if you or know are married to a dentist. It's nacho nuts to be working on a high-level procedure and have this person standing outside the room rolling their eyes at you, waiting for a hygiene check. You have to stop, go check that hygiene patient, and come back. So associates help with that. More free time with family and friends, more camaraderie, less loneliness, more happiness, less annoyance. I say more patient-centered care and production. Associates that we have placed recently have added implant dentistry, extraction, bone grafting, procedures those practice owners do not want to do. So I always say, who takes care of these most important things in your life? Your practices, your children. These are so important to us. And oftentimes, I don't think my dentist put the attention hiring an associate in their practice. They don't put enough attention on that. They'll research 18 CBCTs. They'll call you up and say, what is the best deal on cotton rolls, and spend hours on that. And then when I say, how are you going to hire an associate? They go, my friend knows someone from dental school that I'm going to hire. And what Dentist Job Connect does is give you more options, gives you an entire world out there. So just to share a few success stories, you're going to see some of your members. This is Dr. Arash. He's a multi-practice owner in Missouri. He's used our platform multiple times. The dentist sitting next to him in this interview is one of our Dental Nachos interns who went to a GPR and moved from New Jersey to Missouri. So for those of you out there saying, I don't work in San Diego or Philadelphia or New York, there are dentists out there to help you solve those problems. This is Dr. Mitchell Rubenstein. His wife was begging him to hire his first associate, Mike, and we helped him with that. He is in New York City, and we did have 20 applicants in a short time to work in New York City. To give you guys some context of the hiring world, you work in an area where a lot of dentists want to live, you're going to have more options. If you're out there and crushing it, Bill, making 7 figures, but you have 4,000 active patients, you're going to have to tell a story of why it's a really good idea to move to your area to become an associate. And we have some stories like this here too. This is one, Dr. Tim Pruitt. I believe it's also a DSN member. He's in California, but not San Diego, Mike. He's in California. That's a tough to fill position. and he used Dentist Job Connect to find Dr. Quincy. Dr. Andrew Vallow, one of your members, has used us for multiple associates in Florida. We recently listed a position for him and had 11 applicants for him in 8 days. The platform, which we'll show you in a minute, it's fun, it's streamlined, it's friction-free. It allows the practice owners not only to get inbound applicants, Mike, but also search through our resume database, which brings me to Blake Drew. You know Blake from the DSN here. So in the video package, you do a 10-minute interview with me. It has 2 pieces of value, Mike. One, it goes into our social media channels, so people will see your ad. The second is when you have applicants and you want to see if they're a good fit, you could say, hey, watch this short video with me and Dr. Nacho where I explain the position. So this was Blake, but Blake was in what we call a hard to fill HTF area in Oregon. So he used our resume database and he found an associate by reaching out himself to the resume database, flew an associate out there, and has hired someone who's working with him now. And this is Dr. Eric and Dr. Jasmine in Pennsylvania. So we are very proud of bonding dentists together for multiple practice owners, my first associates. You'll see here in a second. I would just like to rub it in for all of you who have football teams that are like 5-11 or not doing well. This is the Eagles team dentist. They're one of our clients. We found them 2 associates recently here in Philadelphia. So we help everyone from my first associate to your 40th, 50th, 60th associate plus. So if you're ready to use us, ready to test us out, to find an associate, inspire them, train them, this is how it works. For me, I'm a big fan of the movie Philadelphia, Mike. So I don't know if you remember that. Denzel said, explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old. Explain it to me in an easy to follow way. So these are the 4 types of clients we help. So if you're one of these people, private practice dentist, private practice group, small or medium-sized DSO or DPO, large DSO or DPO, we can help you. This is our job board. It's very easy to use and list your position. People on our site can search by state, can search by level, can search by part-time or full-time. We have 200 plus jobs on here now. We ask our practice owners to make the most attractive ad possible. So I'll give him a shout out. Andrew Vallow does a great job. Follow Andrew. He's a DSN member. He makes his ads very attractive. If you need help writing them, we can help you. So this is how you list your position on our job board. This is what Blake Drew used to make his match. We also give you access to resumes. We have over 1,500 resumes on your site. You can literally sit there, text and DM dentists looking for jobs in your area. But I also inspire people listening to this, Mike, don't just look in your area. Reach out to someone in another state, reach out to someone in another time zone and share your story. So not only do you get applications, you get resumes on our site as well to search through. And this is how we make all of this magic happen. As you talked about, we share it on our Dental Nachos Facebook group, Instagram, Job Connect Facebook group, and Instagram. And I'm proud. I say Mark Costas has helped me in so many ways and given me so many good tips in life. I had given him a tip a few years ago to use something called Community. It's a text platform. You can use it to text your followers. What's cool about it is it separates it by state, by age. You can create little subgroups in there. So one of the other pieces to our magic is we can use our 5,000 member text platform to get attention on your position.
So, you mentioned California is a hard place to recruit, right? So when you're, what have you found, if you were to say like top 3 reasons why somebody's actually going to make the move to a dental office, right? Relocate, is it money, culture, all the above kind of?
So I always say it's 3 M's, and they have to be in balance: money, morale, and mentorship. Money, morale, and mentorship. I just did a coaching call on Sunday with a dentist making $1,800 a day. That's fairly good money to make. And she wants to drop back to a position where she's only going to make $1,200 because there's more morale and mentorship. And her money is not worth what she described as the toxic environment that she's in. So culture is important. So I always say, be proud of your money, morale, and mentorship and share it, right? If you're going to stick someone in an office and they got to run it by themselves, how are you going to mentor them? Is it going to be through Zoom? Is it going to be through FaceTime? So those are the 3 things to your story. You know, just to deepen the context of this, we have $250,000 a year positions that struggle to get a few applicants because they're in parts of the country that are hard to get dentists to move to. And then we could put I don't mess with my community just for stories, but if I did after this call, put a $170,000 full-time position in Philadelphia, PA, we probably have 10 applicants in the next 3 days to that. So money, morale, mentorship, be able to showcase those three things. Really good question.
When it comes to compensation, what are you seeing as a trend out there? Is it a percentage of collections?
I would describe it as this. I have multiple associates, and I describe it as a yearly base salary. So
Okay.
this isn't exactly the way for my associates, but just for the purpose of this, it's the accurate story. These aren't necessarily accurate numbers. Work with us 200 days a year. No matter what, we're going to pay you $130,000. We're going to have bonus incentives of 33% of your net collections. So if you collect 600 net, that's 200. We paid you 130 on the last day you work here. Here's a check for 70 grand. The other side of that, we're going to pay you 130 grand no matter what. For whatever reason, you only collect 100, 33% of that's 100. You keep the extra 30. We don't take it back. So base salary plus bonus incentives. It's where the large groups in corporate dentistry can, I don't want, the right word isn't compete, but they can showcase how they create more stable positions. Because I would say busy is a feeling, not a fact. So if you come into a practice that you can be really busy, you're going to make a lot of money. You got to be able to back that up with some security for associates.
Okay. And associate agreements, yay, nay, do you help out with that as well, or do you have resources?
I mean, we have a list. We have a burn list because it's contact these people not to burn your nachos. Okay. The top of that list: dental focused attorney, dental focused accountant, disability insurance agent, could be insurance specialist. So I think agreements manage expectations. I have every one of my agreements for the people that work in my office, from specialists to GPs, made by an attorney. I tell them to take it to their attorney. Let's make sure we're on the same page here. I think that is one of the biggest causes of crying inside is mismanaged expectations, and then sometimes contracts that create a lot of problems when you want them to end. So I encourage associate agreements and asking an attorney. You know, it's funny, my dentists get mad when patients try to do DIY ortho at home, right? They go, oh, that's ridiculous. But they go on Facebook and go, can someone send me their associate contract that I can print out and put my name on top? So I encourage you to customize that.
Yeah, I mean, and HR is nothing to mess with, especially if you're in fun states like California or New York, right? Yeah, New Jersey. You got to be careful a little bit there. So definitely pay attention to that. You know, this has actually been incredible. You have a very large team here. So I know that Morgan and Kate are on here as well.
Yeah, Morgan, Kate, Serena. This is not just Paul Goodman running around with his phone. I'm kind of flattered. But like, what's your whole company? You run around with your phone? I'm like, you know, we do a lot of different things. So these amazing people from marketing, my own wife with branding, operations, Amanda, Ashley, Dua, Spencer, they're all helping us, Kate, Serena, Morgan, really live our best Dentist Job Connect lives. They're connecting with our customers, answering questions, jumping on Zoom calls. We're really into customer service TLC. So we have a whole team behind us to help you. And I kind of begin with end with the same thing. You guys are smart for joining DSN. I was waiting for Goodman Family Takeout the other night, and I made a post on DSN. Like, all these people are like, I wish there was a place where I could get help not to mess up my career. And I go, there is a place. It's the DSN. And I know I'm a sponsor, and I know I think of Mark, like I say, an older brother I never had, and things like that. But it's such a great community you're a part of. Not only do you get people deals, you truly help them develop their careers. And we'd be proud to help them with Dentist Job Connect in any way, whether it's just answering questions, do complimentary consult. If you think you don't need an associate yet, we'll help you. We're really, from the Dr. Blake Drews, the Andrew Vallows, people over the country, we're proud to be bonding these dentists together.
Appreciate the kind words. And for all you DSNers out there, don't be like me a few years ago and hire somebody off Craigslist, because that doesn't work, right? And so
yes.
now that this is here, and definitely make use of it. And, you know, we are proud to actually have Paul and Dentist Job Connect as preferred partners within DSN. Definitely utilize it. It's great pricing out there. As I mentioned before, recruiters are not cheap if you're going to go outside this industry. So the value here is actually huge, and we appreciate the discount that you're giving to us. So you know where to get hold of Paul. You can get hold of him, I guess, kind of everywhere, but within DSN, feel free to chat him up directly. You can use You message him, slide into his DMs over there, but his phone number is right here, and you can actually get hold of him whenever you need.
And I would just like to end with this, Mike, because I like to bring stories together. We're recording this in November, and all of us have patients that come to us on December 20th and say, can I do my crown because my insurance expires? Can I get in before the end of the year? And we're like, you had the whole 11 months. I'll say with this world, be proactive, not just reactive. Someone calls us up and say, my associate's leaving in 2 weeks. I need an associate by then. They have to be in your state. They have to get licensed. They may have to get credentialed with insurance. So this is my inspiration to all of you. Don't be like that patient that tries to get in before the end of the year with insurance. Be proactive instead of reactive in hiring an associate.
Yeah, good advice, especially if you're going to convince somebody to uproot
Yes.
your city. So thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate your time. Morgan, Kate, great to meet you guys as well. All right, DSN fam, you know what to do. Details are going to be in the show notes in the post. Use Dentist Job Connect and get your next hire.
See you guys.